This is the point where you realize, or I'll speak for myself, this is the point where I realize that the Duffer Brothers had no plan for Mr. Henry Creel / Vecna.
What?
This whole speech he's about to give makes me think that the mind flare has always been on our side.
What do you mean by that?
Like when Vecna is giving this speech right now, is he doing the speech for himself, or is he doing the speech based on the influence of the mind flare? Because now we've seen the whole full 5 seasons, and we know he didn't just become who he is now because he chose to. We know it's because of the little rock that he found inside the briefcase of that scientist. Side note, I don't know if that's a normal thing to do for a child who got shot in his hand, didn't freak out and run or go into shock, picked up a rock and clubbed this guy till he was knocked out and was unconscious, then proceeded to unlock the briefcase. Why there's no security lock on the briefcase is baffling to me. Maybe the scientist intended to use it, but he sat there and clutched the briefcase while still having his gun in his hand. For most of us who are at least honest with ourselves, we can admit that these guys didn't know what they were doing. And I guess it's okay. I guess because we can bitch about it all we want. It is what it is. The show is done. I mean, they're releasing a prequel thing, animation, whatever it's called. And they're planning to do spin-offs. I don't even know if I want to watch the spin-offs. I don't know if I'm excited.
But why?
Because if you can make such a grand mistake like this across multiple seasons, what guarantee do we have that you won't make the same mistakes again in your spin-offs?
That's a good question.
It felt so unnatural for a young child to get shot.
Yeah.
You got shot and he didn't panic or like scream. I mean, he looked shocked, but didn't wail, didn't panic. So maybe that's the Duffer Brothers trying to say he was already strange. So getting shot must have been like, wow, dude, I got shot. I mean, I'm scared, but ooh, like just to show that this is how the unstable part of him was already beginning to show. And this was the catalyst to push him there towards that. Because you made it look like he was already broken from the beginning. Then you give us a flashback finally. And then you showed us that it was this rock that entered his skin. And in the previous video that I did before, I was asking if there was no bullet wound in Henry's palm, what would the mind flare rock or whatever that rock is, how would that rock have affected Henry at that age? Like what was the rock's contingency plan? If someone picks me up as a rock, how can I infiltrate the body? What was it? Like, is it so powerful that if a dog came next to it, it would enter the dog? If a cat, if a snail, if a worm, if a bee, if a wasp, if a butterfly, if any living organism, even the soil, for example, if you dropped it on just dirt, would it absorb the dirt or would it merge to the soil? So any living organism, microbes even, germs even, would it then enter into the germ, into any living organism? No matter how huge or small it is, would it then take over that organism? Or does it need a cut, a flesh wound?
Don't ask questions.
A bullet wound or a gash. He fell on the floor and he's got, scraped his knee or scraped his palm. Or does it need blood? So that means, is it very specific as to what creature is going to dominate when it comes across it? So no matter whether it's living organism or not, it needs an organism that has plasma inside it. These douchebag brothers didn't even have the decency and the respect for the audience to say this is how this thing works. But we'll wait till the spin-off. And that's what some people will say. Just calm down. Don't bitch about it. Wait for the spin-offs. If you cannot talk about it now, you can't fix it in the spin-offs. It's already broken.
That boy is good.
A child got popped in the palm and still felt, it's almost like one of those, there's two types of children in the world, boy or girl. You're either the boy who screams when you get shot in the palm or you're Henry Creel. Listen, grown men and women after being shot, and not even fatal wounds, would just go into shock and pass out. This is a small child, and you want to convince me that he was okay with the bullet wound. Didn't bleed out for some weird reason, I guess because it was through and through, whatever. Was it in pain? Fine, adrenaline. You take the rock, you smash the scientist's head. You should have sat down and be like, oh my God, my arm. Then run. Maybe, because he's a Boy Scout, he would have gone through his bag and tried to find some first aid kit to wrap his thing. So you're showing that he this is what Boy Scout training has paid off. Being able to handle this situation under pressure. It's like, oh, this thing I've been going through so far is paying off right now. I was taught you band-aid the thing, you dress the wound first, you clean it, then you put the band-aid on. Then the scientist comes through and don't let them find the suitcase. That would have even been something cool. Then he buries the suitcase or something, or he takes it home or something. But the fact that he opened the briefcase, or is it suitcase or whatever, I was like, dude, how is it possible?
What do you mean by that?
So the scientist grabbed the thing whilst he panicked. So we can assume that briefcase does not belong to the scientist. We can just assume the scientist witnessed a few ththings happen and thought, oh no, this little rock did this and did that. Like, what else occurred for the scientist to say, let me steal this? It makes sense that, cause you see, I want to say he probably grabbed it with his hand, but I don't want to give these duffer douchebags an excuse. So maybe he used, those rubber gloves that they have, or something that they use to contain all these things. He grabbed it, put it in the briefcase, and, hightailed it out of there. But okay, he's panicking. He went down into the hole. He happened to find the hole, or maybe he lives around the vicinity for so long, he knows that hole is there. Very specific set of, circumstances. So he goes into the hole. He's laying there for a while. He's hoping no one comes to find him. No one knows. I mean, if he sat there with the gun pointed and he's like, who sent you? Who sent you? He must be aware of that location, meaning he didn't randomly find that location. Because you can't be waiting in the hole with the beacon on or tracker on expecting to be found. So he was hoping not to be found. That means he doesn't have a tracker on him. So wherever he is, it's 80% chance he won't be found. But Henry normally goes there for fun or whatever, fine. Happens to land there and sees him there. He panics. Who sent you? Who are you? I don't even know if they recruit children in the spy program or scientist program or take over the world, New World Order program that the scientist comes from, because he sees a child and he reacts. So I'm assuming it's not the first time he's interacted with children in his, dark, skewed organization that he works for. So there's layers to, what he can handle as a bad man or a bad scientist. What they've encountered now is like, yo, my bar is here. It's gone past my bar, so I need to grab this thing. I can't assume that briefcase belongs to him. Because if I say it belongs to him, then my next question is, why didn't he lock that thing? Why didn't he do? Because you're saying don't let anyone. He's telling Creel, don't let it consume you. That's what it does. So you must be aware he's frantic, he's panicking, he's aiming a gun at a little child. So that means I'm assuming he must have experienced illusions from this rock and whatever other artifacts that they've collected from whatever dimension. This one just happens to be in the suitcase. So that means this thing is so powerful, and it's not volatile, meaning it's not going to chew through metal, concrete, rubber, paper, plastic, whatever it is. It's capable of sitting wherever it needs to be sat, just like I almost said like the Tesseract. Yeah, kind of like the Tesseract, right? So he's put on gloves, or they've used a particular device to handle the rock, and we don't know if they found it on planet X, or they chopped it off something, snatched the thing, and ran away. We don't know. I guess that's what the spin-off is going to touch on. They do have some leeway to fix the mess that they've made. So the spin-off could be like, you know what? We need to flesh this thing out properly. We rushed that thing in the 5th season. Now we have ample opportunity to dress this thing up properly. So it's a comprehensive story where it makes sense as to how the scientist got to that location and why he chose to snag. Because whatever product you're working on, you must know the risk or risks. So having gone through whatever, realized, yo, okay, we thought we could handle this interdimensional thing, but we're not in charge. It's in charge. Then you panic, you snag the rock, you run away, you climb down into this hole. I'm assuming you're aware of the hole. You didn't find it by mistake. You didn't find it randomly. Maybe as a child, that used to be your secret location as well. And then cosmic synchronicity, little Henry he finds you there with your briefcase. I just wish that being that he's a scientist and being the nature of the thing they're working on is highly classified. It has to be classified. He didn't run around telling his little boys and girls, his sons and daughters and his wife, and come see what we're doing, honey. Come look at the world-ending thing we're working on. So it had to be behind closed doors. So at least out of appreciated, he put some security on the briefcase. And then maybe Henry takes it home. Or scientist is trying to lock it down, bury the thing, or something. Then Henry shows up and he's panicked, like, what the hell? Who sent you? Then he's got the gun. Who sent you? Get in. Then he shoots him by mistake. Henry freaks out. I don't know about the shooting thing. I'm not sure yet. But Henry panics. We stick with what the duffer douchebags have done. Henry panics, runs to the stone, impales him in the head, constantly knocks the dude out. But the briefcase is already open. And Henry is curious. But I don't know if that's a natural thing for a child to do. You've been shot in your palm. Yeah. So does it make sense that you still go and investigate? Only an adult would do that. There'll be a dialogue like, what the hell did I even get? Did I even get shot for? It better be worth it, man. Wrap your arm, cool. God, still shit. I mean, at least it went through and through. You open the briefcase, or it's like, oh, you didn't even open. You take the rock, pam, 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 pam. That feels like a grown thing to do. Meaning an adult who's assessing the situation. As a child, this is going to shut you down. Mm-hmm. You've just been shot. Yeah. This is a new experience. This is a painful experience. And instinctively, to keep yourself alive, you've just knocked a man out and there's a lot of blood everywhere. How you're still cognizant, how you're still functioning, and how you're still present is amazing to me. And you haven't even interacted with the stone yet. That's right. So, bullet wound in your hand, or bullet hole in your hand, you've used a rock to smash this guy. There's a lot of blood, and you're okay with it. Then you feel confident enough to open the briefcase. And how did you know it was even unlocked?
That's a good question.
It's a shame.
This is just a moment.
It's a shame, man. So this guy was just swinging left, right, and center, pivoting from here to there, not knowing what to do. Because this dialogue this dude is about to give right now, I'm like, just there's a certain part of the monologue. I'm like, I'm digging what you're saying, dude. I'm digging what you're saying. And if you had said there's a particular number of people in positions of power that he wants to get rid of, and he just about happened to come across that stone when he was young, and he's now bonded with the mind flayer, and he feels he has enough power to take them out. Cool. Even this scene where he ends, I keep saying this and I'll say it again, this scene where he killed every child in here except Elle. On paper, in terms of the main villain, which is the mind flayer, in terms of your drive, your reason, your purpose, your function, what do you want to do? You went through a lot to get yourself into Little Will.
Damn!
That sounded very nasty.
That's right.
And before that, you went through a lot to get yourself into Henry Creel. Because we don't know if you've entered other people yet. The show didn't show us that. So that means, again, I have to assume all the scientists were very, very careful not to interact with this rock object live. So they had to have suits on and whatever materials they used to handle this thing, or prongs, metal prongs, lift it from here to there, test it, try to chip at it, so because they had the particles inside glass containers. How they even did that? Just like in my previous video that I said, I don't know how that works. If the show had said that the particles don't seem to function the same way they normally do innately once they're inside a particular container. So that means it would have taken a while for the scientists to even figure that out. Because how would you know? You've never seen this entity before, this particle dust before, and you think to yourself, yeah, glass container, plastic, rubber, lead. You have to study it long enough, but that doesn't even make any sense to me, because the way you showed how the mind flare particles work and they entered Will so quick, why would the mind flare particles wait and unless like I said in my previous video, unless he was doing this thing where it's studying the people who think they've captured it. I can just about dig that, but you need to convey that in a way, either through Henry or someone else that it possessed, and they just about broke away in some way. We don't know, but so that way the audience understands, how did you manage to capture not one, not two, but three particles? Or the particles are just swirling in the air, and then okay, so how do you then solidify the particles? Because now I have to ask the question: what was your aim with the science? How do you study the particles? Like, you can't put them under a microscope because they're moving, right? Or can you? Can you put, be like studying nanobots? So maybe you can study the particles under. I mean, is it microscope or telescope? Microscope, telescope. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
I'm just trying to figure out what this thing wants. Because this scene before Henry killed all the children, this is a win-win. This is like Children of the Corn or Children of the Damned. Is it Damned or Corn? One of both. The children with the white hair. It's a win-win for the Mind Flayer to have all those children with its blood inside them being led by Vecna. And those guys can take over the White House and the Pentagon without breaking a sweat.
You ain't lying.
And you can have Henry train them to become much, much stronger. So when a freaking missile is launched at them or a nuke is thrown at them, they can reverse and dismantle that shit. Then you have an invasion like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but worse. You don't need to fall asleep for that one. How can you come against a force like Henry Creel and the other children who are telekinetic? Especially when trained and very well trained, it's game over.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolute game over.
That's right.
And then maybe even train them to tear wormholes through different parts of Earth, making it easier to travel so they don't have to encounter head on a bunch of army troops and freaking tanks and missiles and launches. We just tear one dimension to the other. And by the time you know what, let's just play this speech. Let's play this monologue.
But the human world was disrupting this harmony. You see, humans are a unique type of pest, multiplying and poisoning our world, all while enforcing a structure of their own.
So is this Henry talking, or is this a Mind Flayer talking? Or is Henry thinking, because again, we've seen the whole seasons, so we know Henry wasn't forced, or he wasn't against his will when he merged with well, technically it was against his will. What am I trying to say? That was against his will.
Well, duh.
It's not like he knew the Rock would do what it did, but if the Rock had influenced him, that would have been a different story. That means, like, you know, frozen and pick me up, maybe. But again, like I said, it was too convenient. He happened to have a bullet wound, and then we're shown that the Rock entered his whole body. So that means the Rock is solid and particle at the same time. It deatomatized. Is that a word?
I don't know.
It disassembled its solid state into particle state into Henry's wound. He couldn't go through the nose, through his eyes, his ears, his mouth. He went through the bullet wound. So I have to assume, if there was a wounded dog, would you have done the same thing? That's what I'm trying to say. If the Rock was in his palm, would Henry have absorbed the Rock like that? Or can the Rock only enter any host with plasma if there's a wound on the host?
That boy is good.
So if I held the Rock here and I was shot in this palm, will the thing then jump into this hand, into the bullet wound hole? Or do I need to hold the Rock in this palm where the bullet wound is, so the Rock can then disassemble itself particle-wise or whatever into the bullet wound? These guys fucked with a large audience for 5 seasons. Well, I'll say for the last 2 seasons, because the first 3 seasons, for me anyway, they were cool. I rewatched them recently. They were cool. Again, I did notice some minor flaws, but as a whole, as overall, they were cool.
Yes.
It's when it came to this season and this monologue as well, because I'm like, okay, this is sounding cool, but the killing that you're doing, it doesn't match what you're saying. You want to bring your own version of order. You're almost as bad, if not worse, than the people who are doing what they're doing. because you don't want to free humanity. You don't want to release him from the government. You don't want to release him from poisonous foods and GMO foods and lies and poison in the water, poison in the atmosphere. You don't want to release him from that. You're saying they're a parasite, which is cool and all, but what do you want to do yourself? Do you have a personal dream, personal desire and hope and want? Or is this a you and mind flare talking as one dream? So this whole humans and this humans and that, who is talk? When did this epiphany occur? Did this occur way before? Did this epiphany occur way before Henry was in the cave and had to smash a rock in this scientist's head, or did that occur after Henry bonded with the rock, or after the rock bonded with Henry in the cave that day?
Don't ask questions.
A deeply unnatural structure. Where others saw order, I saw a straitjacket.
So all this makes sense.
A cruel, oppressive world dictated by made-up rules. Seconds, minutes, hours, days.
Message!
Dude, if this guy was speaking in public right now, I'll be on his side.
You serious?
Because there's a lot of things going on right now in the world, especially as we're currently right. It's been like that for a little while, but at least a lot of people are coming to know some. Yeah, so if this dude was present and alive now, sign me up. But just let me know how you're going to do it and what exactly you're going to do. Because if you're saying you're removing people, we're going to ask, are you replacing them? Are we doing self-governance? Are we going back to eating for our bodies rather than eating this one generic thing and three meals a day? And this person says, if you eat this, you die. And we're all so unique and different. It makes sense that we should eat for our individual unique selves. There's a general thing that all beings should partake in: water, air, fruits, and vegetables. These things will differ because some people have allergies to fruits and vegetables. But at least there'll be a general, universal constant: the water, the air, the fruits, the vegetables, and the meats. Not saying everyone should have milk. Everyone should eat meat. Everyone should eat pork. Doesn't make any sense.
That's right.
It doesn't make any sense. There'll be a pocket of people who eat a particular thing because of their not only genetic, but spiritual composition. The same for these people. There'll be another number of people as well who have a specific, unique way of eating or dietary system based on the physical and spiritual composition.
What does that have to do with it?
No, he's got a point.
So to say that everyone should eat like this across the globe is incompetent. So if this dude figures that out, and this is what his whole manifest destiny? This is his whole grand plan, him and the mind flare. So we could argue, these people made the mind flare look like it's a bad thing, but it's like it's actually a savior. But it's the people who are projecting their stories and their fear onto us. We're being made to be afraid of the mind flare, but really and truly, the mind flare is humanity's release and freedom. So that's why the scientists were so afraid or so worried about people who find out about this information, because it's going to release human beings from this prison, this puppetry nonsense and being controlled and letting nefarious people get away with things, and evil presidents and the false idea of power and positions of power. If he was pitching that as the general thing for every people to rally behind him, you don't even need people to rally behind you.
Let me explain.
Because you wouldn't have killed all those children who were in that place. You would have found a way to get into their heads and release whatever pain and anger that they had gone through due to Papa, or whatever his name is, torturing them and mistreating them and abusing them and causing a lot of trauma in their head. You could have helped heal that trauma, and you wouldn't need anyone to side with you per se. You can help people, yeah, but you have you with a direct connection to the mind flare. Then you have the children that you didn't have to kill. So that's your army already. Then you'd find a way to release the other particles in the science lab to enter more people, because you need the science team on your side with some smart shit going on over there. So then on top of that, you can then maybe before you get to a stage where you reach the audience and the public and say, I'm on your side, son. The current concept of existence we're living under was made by a bunch of Caucasian people who wanted profit and control and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Cigarette, plastic production, imbalance between men and women, wages and this and that, or high currency. The currency of US is stronger than this. And who decided that? What God, what Allah, what Yahweh, what Jehovah, what spirit, blah, blah, blah. Show me the divine proof, not in some stupid book you people have mistranslated and retranslated, and some king came over and said, write this version, suck a cock on that one. That entity must reveal itself and say, I chose to do so. If not, then you can fuck off. So then we say, no wonder this dude was being kept behind closed doors, because the scientists and the government didn't want him to reveal the truth to humanity. Done. But there's issues with that shit too. There's issues with that shit too, because I'm still trying to figure out whose side are you on? On the side of humanity to freedom, or are you being puppeted by the mind flare, thinking you're in charge? So the mind flare has been sat in its dimension all this time, just thinking I'm looking for a species to free from the monotony of existence. And then fast forward, whatever happened. Wormhole is torn in, fabric of reality is broken. Mind flare is just chilling and then senses Earth. Or does it know about the cosmos? Does the mind flare know there are more than 9 planets in the galaxy? Does it know different solar systems? Does it know Earth is there? And does it know Earth has dogs, cats, and fishes? You didn't even show the perspective of this entity. How old is this entity? How long lived is it? Henry grabs the rock, or Henry grabs the rock enters Henry's arm, and then it's like, find me. You know how to speak English, motherfucker? You speak English. Or is it that you're so smart and powerful and so infinitely strong? Any species that interacts with you, you already know their language. But the douchebag brothers didn't even have the decency to let us in, to let us know this is how this entity operates, how powerful. Do you know how powerful you'd have to be for someone to touch you and they can read your language? They know your composition instantly? That would let us know this shit is serious. That would let us know this thing is not playing. All you have to do is put your hand on this motherfucker and it knows French, Spanish, English, Swahili, Amharic, Aramaic. It just one touch. But you didn't have the decency to even do that for your audience. You pricks. And these cocksuckers said they're going to do a spin-off. Oh, how the fuck do you fuck up your own shit? If you had told me that these guys plagiarized someone else's work, that makes more sense.
What?
That makes more sense.
Weeks, months, years, decades, each life, a faded, lesser copy of the one before. Wake up, eat, work, sleep, reproduce, and die.
Yo, I'm on his side. I'm on his side because there's so many things that have been taught to us that we haven't taken the time to absorb for ourselves. We've been told this is the way the world is. When you ask a question, how come life is like this? Or it's just the way it's been. Bullshit. It shows that you're about to find out something and they give you this rhetoric or programming that shuts down the whole thinking. He's almost like, he's practically a freaking Neo right now. Maybe Neo with a hint of Morpheus. Or Neo with a hint of Morpheus and the Oracle. Because right now, whatever he's speaking, I'm on your side, bro. I'm on your team. Even if it took an interdimensional entity to be absorbed into your bloodstream when you were a child, I'm on your side. Because you could have gone rogue. You could have turned to be a very, very bad person and just torn apart everybody. I mean, what he did to his parents, that's what I'm saying. It's confusing. What you did to your parents, did that to your peeps. Your mommy, your daddy, and your sister. So was that you doing what occurred there, or was it the mind flare? So who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? Or is it bad cop, bad spirit, or bad flare, or good flare, bad cop, bad cop, good? Who? Come on, man! You can't give this spiel, this whole monologue, and then you did what you did to your family. Or are you saying you want to free humanity from this mental slave prison, whatever it is, you need to go through a whole lot of work to bring the mind flare here. Who got his ass beat in his domain, in his neck of the woods, in his crib, by a bunch of untrained people who threw water balloons or petrol balloons and an M16 machine gun.
What?
You struggled with an M16 machine gun. If you got taken down by those rascals on your home turf, what makes you think you could have handled the army back on Earth?
That's a good question.
How many flamethrowers would have taken you down? Screw the M16s. All they gotta do is launch a bunch of grenades at you, lobby grenades at you like it's a freaking baseball. They would have had fun shutting your shit down. And you didn't have backup with your demogorgons, demo dogs, or demo bats. The duffer douchebags made sure not to put that in. So your plan is incompetent. I'm on your side with you here, but I will have questions like, okay, once you've gotten rid of the dark powers, the Illuminati order, whatever you know is not right in humanity. Once you've removed all these bad people that are doing shit, what happens next? Because we know what you did to your sister, your mother, and your father. And your sister was young. Unless she bullied you, or did she pinch you while you were asleep? Did she kick you when you were playing? Did she lie about something? Did she do something wrong and say you did it? So you got angry and now you just lash out because now you have power. I'm going to use this power against my sister. It kind of makes sense. I guess it makes sense. I mean, you were shot in your palm and you didn't run. You clobbered a grown man till he was unconscious with a rock in your hand, and all that blood didn't shock you whatsoever. Then you had the balls and the audacity and the curiosity to open this briefcase to find this rock glowing, and that didn't even freak you out more. These duffer douchebags, you fuck me, man, dude. It's like the incompetency was just stacking and stacking and stacking. Everything that happened from there did not make any sense, was not natural at all. That's not how children behave when you get shot. I say again, they are grown men and women, even if they've gone through army training, who on the battlefield, who got clipped for the first time, that would shut them down.
That's right.
Just seeing that there's a bullet wound on your personage is enough to just put someone in shock, and that's it. Pass out. And we're talking about an adult, let alone a child. Even if you said, "Oh, Henry's dad has a gun in the house because Henry's dad went to war," yada, yeah. So the Henry plays the gun and shooting himself on a regular? No. Seeing something on TV and maybe witnessing someone getting shot in real life is very different to feeling the bullet going through your personage. So what I'm saying is, there should have been some level of shock. He looked at it, yes, but still being shocked. He looked shocked. And even if you want to say adrenaline, that's cool. We can let adrenaline slide. He's shocked, adrenaline kicks in, he reacts, fight or flight, picks up the rock, knocks the dude unconscious. The next thing he does, that's when I'm like, okay, adrenaline or not, you've broken normality for me. Adrenaline or not, you have broken the natural norm. You were surprised, fight or flight kicked in, plus adrenaline, picked up the rock, defended yourself, and you knocked this dude out. The blood should have shut you down again, but you don't care because you're trying to make sure this guy is not moving anymore. He's done, the gun is out of the hand. You didn't even kick the gun away, or did he? I can't remember. Then you grab his suitcase, like what's in here anyway? Any G.I. Joe toys in here? They got Transformers in here? Do they have Ninja Turtles in here? Do they have Barbie dolls in here? Do they have Ken dolls in here? Do they have the Bratz? Is it the Bratz? What else was going? Do they have Inspector Gadget in here? Is there a RoboCop toy in here? What were you hoping to find inside the suitcase? Doesn't make any sense. And then you didn't open the suitcase with ease. You didn't struggle. There was no code pushing. And you want us to swallow the cock? Come on. Come on. No. Look at this spiel. Wake up, eat, sleep, rinse and repeat, rinse and produce. I'm on your side. Let's go to this it's a Pentagon. Let's go. We're flying there. We're levitating there. How we getting there? We're gonna tear a wormhole. Let's go. Remove them. Then we sit down and rearrange finances, rearrange the economy, make it balanced for everyone. So when everyone gets what they want, what they need, what they require, what they desire, then we'll see how the society progresses, right? No more rich, no more poor. Just everyone is balanced. No more upper class and middle class and lower class and luxury this. It's proper stuff, right? That's what you plan to do, isn't it? Because you brought up some very, very good points. When you sit down and think about it, you're like, yeah, it's just a freaking hamster on the hamster wheel. Oh yeah, or right on the right, whatever it is. Yes, you're right. It's rinse and repeat. There's no particular life purpose for everyone to say, I feel I've been designed and I was sent here to do this. Everyone just operating on this robotic thing. There's no uniqueness to say, oh, the maker. Whether you call your maker Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, whatever word or words or phrase you've given your maker, you now know within yourself because you've taken a break from this nonsense. This guy, Henry, and the Mind Flayer freed us from the enslavement. I now realize I'm here to be a pianist, and I'm here to be a farmer. I'm here to be a gymnast. I'm here to be a dancer. I'm here to be a choreographer. You're now free to flex or become what you are here to become, not chase your dream like as if your dream is running away from you. Woo! Look at me, I'm your dream running away from you. You're here to become what you're meant to become. Thanks to this new savior that no one could impale this time on a cross. No, there's no Romans to kill him because he's got an army and he's got a higher force on another dimension.
Willingly?
Yes.
Everyone is just waiting for it all to be over.
You ain't lying.
All while performing in a silly, terrible play day after day.
Message.
It's a powerful monologue, very, very powerful speech because when you really sit down to listen to it, you're like, yo, dude is right. Yeah. But to what end?
That's a good question.
So everyone's waiting for it to be over. So you feel you have the ability or the not even authority. You feel it's within your it's your destiny. Everyone's waiting for it to end. End how? What does end mean to you? What is your interpretation of end? Freedom from the enslavement? Have a therapy session for each and every one of them, one by one. Come in, let me sit you down, okay? Let me check your blood type. What's your family like? I can sense in your bloodline your ancestral legacy. Plus, the maker has told me you're here to be a ballet dancer, you know, or you're here to be a teacher, and you're supposed to live in Mexico. What does waiting for it to end mean for you, Mr. Henry Creel? What does waiting for it to end mean to you? And then why does the Mind Flayer want? What does the Mind Flayer get out of this? Does it want to be worshipped like a demigod, like a Lucifer, like a Shaitan, or like a Loki? Does it want worship? Because before that rock was found, however way that thing was found, I guess we need to wait for the spin-off. Before all that was going on, what was the Mind Flayer doing in its own space? What was day one like? Or if maybe there's no day in Dimension X, maybe it's just perpetually sunlight, no nighttime. No 1 p.m., no 2 p.m., no 3 p.m. Maybe it's just bright. There's no sun or there's no rotation of wherever the planet it's on around a sun, or there's no gravitation. It's just light. What was that time period like for the Mind Flayer? Chilling. Did it have ice cream? Did it have popcorn? Did it have chocolate, iced tea, coffee, bread? I don't know, fries, potato chips. What was the Mind Flayer doing? Was it like, I can't wait for someone to discover me so I can free another entrapped species? Is it like a god to other creatures? Has it freed other planets before? Has it freed other people from 9 to 15 or 2 to 4? Or has it freed some people from farming nonstop or mining in caves and whatever nonstop? I'm the Mind Flayer. I go around to different planets, freeing them from their monotonous existence and allowing them to reach nirvana. What the fuck was Homeboy doing in its dimension? But I guess we have to wait for the Duffer douchebags to do a spin-off so we can figure out what the fuck it was doing. These two things don't make sense. In fact, three things. Young Henry's situation was some bullshit, but again, some of you say adrenaline. You've never been shot before. I have. And I know when you're shot, adrenaline kicks in. Then you have homeboy saying, you know, humanity, we need to free them. So you're the designated new Jesus. Very weird version of Jesus, but whatever. Maybe Jesus' energy transferred through him. Maybe the whole rock from Dimension X is a metaphor for the Christ energy inside his vessel. I was here once and you all impaled me on this cross. I'm here now. But this time, I don't come in peace. It's an allegory for Christ's return, or for the Antichrist, shown as a savior, but this whole monologue he just gave right now is enough for me to be like, I'm on your side. I'm on your side, because you could have used your powers to decimate so many people, but you didn't. And then the incompetency of killing your brothers and sisters, that's the dumbest shit ever. The duffer douchebags don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you want to take over Earth, or do you want to liberate Earth? If you want to liberate Earth, killing your siblings or your children through Henry is stupid, because you're going to need those people to fight off other people who can end your children and Henry. And let's say Henry gets away with what he wants to do. Let's say he succeeds in his plan. He frees Earth, he frees all the nations. There's no more governing powers who are abusing power and who are creating and producing destruction to the ozone layer and cars and all this shit that a lot of intelligent people know is not supposed to be around, right? But it's taking Henry to do it, plus the Mind Flayer. What next?
That's a good question.
Does Henry and the Mind Flayer then say, on to the next planet? I hear Pluto is struggling with a dictating alien. Let's go there, Mind Flayer. To Pluto we travel, and then we'll stop over at Venus for a side order of some space fries. It's this season that told me, oh, these motherfuckers don't know what the fuck they're doing. I mean, I caught hints from season 1, 2, and 3, but this season was the one that finalized that whole, oh, you bitches have zero clue. Even if you give them interviews and they told you, oh, we just wanted to do one season and dip. If that's the truth, then you definitely had no clue what the fuck you were doing. Because if you made L, after making L teleport that Demogorgon into another dimension and she disappeared as well, that means, you know what? Whatever, man. Whatever. I'm good. I'm good. Probably do a second video again, but we're definitely going to do a flashback to when Henry picked up that rock, because I don't see how they're going to fix that shit in the spin-off series via prequel. I don't see how they're going to do it. I don't see what story you can tell is so compelling that scientist then realized, oh my, I thought we were here to save the world and free humanity from the government and enslavement, but these guys want to do. What do you even intend to do with the rock? Let's say they found the rock and yeah, it's cool. It's in the briefcase. What do you want? You want to sell it? Money? That's your thing, is money. Money. A human concept you created, you're chasing after your own idea, your own illusion. That is fucking incompetent.
Get this man a shield.
So let's say you find this rock, and this rock has the ability to open multiple gates into other dimensions. To do what? What do you want to do with this newfound power? You can't even clean your own ass properly. You can't look after your back garden properly. You can't take care of your planet properly. You want to go to another location to do what? Pendejos. Or is it pendejos? What do you want to do in your other journeys to multiple dimensions? To teach people English? You cocksucking rodents. God damn! When you sit down and analyze this shit, the story becomes so dull and minuscule. It's not grand anymore.
You ain't lying.
Maybe the Mind Flayer is a savior. Maybe the Mind Flayer is a superpowered Jesus from another dimension. But because of lesser minds and incompetent people, we're not able to bask in the glory of the togetherness or the hive-mindedness of enjoying bliss through this Mind Flayer creature who has its own physical body stuck in the ground or just chilling in the, not even stuck, just this, that's how it sleeps. Legs up in the air, head in the ground. And has the ability to interact with different planets via its particles. That is the easiest way to dominate. If you're a super villain pretending to be a savior, that is the easiest way to dominate any other planet. So then your reason to want to come to Earth to merge the dimensions together into one is so incompetent, because I remind you once again, you got decimated by an untrained number of people. And one of those people had an M16 machine gun, which she did not load properly, by the way. If you watch that clip again, she didn't load the gun properly. That was a very incorrect way to load the gun. You let those untrained pissants shut your whole plan down. You're not ready. You're incapable. Fire is your grand weakness. It's your main weakness. Can we also add acid to that list as well? So if fire is your main weakness and you were afraid of an M16 machine gun plus petrol balloon bombs, how can you withstand 6 Tomahawk missiles?
That's a good question.
50 Tomahawk missiles.
Damn.
25 RPGs.
What?
90 grenades launched at you like baseballs. How can you withstand that? You don't have any force field.
Aha.
So it doesn't make sense that you're letting Henry run amok here and say he wants to free people from government and whatnot because they're doing 9 to 5. I agree. I agree with a lot of things he said. On top of that, it doesn't make sense that the Mind Flayer wants to enter our dimension by merging the two. You've already done that by putting your particles inside Will. Sounds nasty. You've already infiltrated Will's body with your particles. Just do that on repeat with other people. You already merged yourself with Henry Creel as a little boy. Luckily enough, you got shot in the palm where the bullet hole was that you managed to enter. Lucky for you, he got shot in the palm. What if you got shot in the head and he died? Would you have reanimated the body? I don't know. Maybe the Duffer douchebags would have probably written that as well. So you've already won. You've broken through the barrier. You don't need to come through here, because here they will kick your ass. Do you need sunscreen as a Mind Flayer? Is it just bright in Dimension X and there's no sun? Or is there a sun there as well? Because if you can't stand fire, my boy, you will not be able to handle summer. You will not be able to handle summer. If fire is your weakness, you will not be able to handle summer. You entered different people in Hawkins in season 3. That's a win again. But you want to enjoy the atmospheric experience of Earth. It's stupid. That is human weakness. Trying to express itself as smart writing or power. No, weak writing. Duffer douchebags didn't even take their time to put themselves in the mindset of this entity. How do we want to portray this entity and its desire and its reason for being and its purpose and its function? What does it do regularly? On a regular basis, what is it? What's its purpose? Why? You think I will sit here and tell you to come and find me, telekinetically, from a different dimension, whilst you held a rock, either from my body or not, I don't know. And the rock is glowing. And then that rock then dematerializes into your bloodstream, changing your whole molecular composition forever. You now have a unique blood type on the whole entire planet. There's no human being alive that has the exact same blood you have now due to me entering your body. Sounds weird. And I'm still sat in my Dimension X. Then fast forward years later, some girl, one of my children called Elle, that was derived from the blood of my main son called Henry. Elle has telekinesis powers. Something happened. She opens a wormhole. So did I need my children to open wormholes so Henry couldn't do it before? The blood needed to be diluted and tweaked around here and there for Elle to be born, to then mistakenly open the wormhole. But I'm a whole being. How long have I been here before that I don't know how to open wormholes to other dimensions, other realities, other Earths, other planets? It's stupid.
I like this one.
When you sit down and talk about this shit like this, you realize how flawed this writing is. And it's poor, it's bad. You want to love the shit, but you're like, hold on a second, bruh. You're a very, very patient entity. If Henry hadn't found you as a rock, what would you be doing? Are you out here just throwing rocks, pieces of yourself at different alien species that will find you in different dimensions, different timelines, different realities, different planets? Like there's a planet Ulroyd, and Ulroyd just found this rock. Oh, this is Balubul, and so it's a rock, and they rubbed it together, or they worshipped it, or whatever. So you just throw yourself as little pieces of rocks to different planets, hoping they will find it, so you can hive mind them as one. Are you hungry? Do you need worship? Do you need to feel that you matter, so you can free? So to matter, you need to free people from their self-made prison. What the fuck are you here for, man? Mr. Mind Flare. Mr. Mind Flare. Send me a dream? Mr. Sandman. Can't remember the lyrics of that song. I think I'm done now. We outie.